Hello viewers and welcome to the eSeniors Porsche GT3 Cup race being held this week at Spa. Quite a full grid tonight. I think there's going to be about 20 cars on track. Obviously Spa's a long circuit, so not really going to be a problem. Obviously you've got the usual suspects looking quick already, the likes of Mr. Bird. You've also got Mr. Van Brabant, Bourne, and I think Pollitt's been looking pretty quick as well. So I think the top 3, 4 and 5 I think probably right themselves already, to be honest, as they are usually consistent racers around the track. So what we'll do is we'll go out with one of the lead guys to start with, jump on board with them and watch them first of all do this out lap, and then we'll jump on board with them as they do what will be the first flying lap for themselves. And what I'll also do is I'll do my usual lap guide as well, just cover some of the corners. Spa's one of the most well-known tracks, so a lot of the corners are pretty much well-known anyway. Welcome to the stream, Big Natty. Hope you're well. Thanks for watching. Hopefully today I'll try and keep on top of the incidents. I don't want them to be too many, to be honest, but you know, with everything else, incidents are bound to happen when you've got quite a mixed field. And hopefully we're not going to have first lap carnage. Last few races we've been doing rolling starts for a full track lap. It didn't feel right at Spa though, purely because of the size of it. So we'll dump on board with Eric here and we'll do a bit of a lap guide. So this corner here is La Source. I'll try and get the car turned in here to get your foot down into the downhill section. You'll start gaining a bit of speed. This takes us into the well-known Eau Rouge, getting its name because of the river that runs underneath it. Got to get your power on at the right point in here. Trying to watch track limits, and then on we go to Radian and the Camel Straight. The Radian's at the top and onto the Camel Straight, where you're trying to look to max the car out just before you brake, which is just before the strip on the left, as he did there, and that takes you into Lake Hume. And trying to take the apex as much as possible here. And then this takes us into Bruxelles. Quite a tight one this, got to really put the gears down. Have to keep the car rotated without sliding too much, otherwise you will drift left or possibly oversteer. And then this takes us into what will be the little straight leading up to the very quick Pouillon. Again, touch the brakes on the way in, drop it down a gear, get the balance right and then put your foot down. Try to get the car to drift wide to keep the maximum power on. And then this takes us into Campus. And you're trying the apex on this one to get maximum out of the corner. Nice one there. And then into Stavelot. Quite a tight right turn. You can get the car to drift left. Watching track limits, but it is quite generous there. And now into the curve, Port Frere. Basically flat out. As you come round to Blanchimont. Again, depending on the car, you can take this corner flat out. Obviously not in the Porsche, those tyres aren't up to speed. And then you want a hard brake then into the aptly named chicane. And then back on to the start finish straight. And hopefully with a good lap into 223s or something like that. Okay, so Derek's just done a 224. That's a very respectable lap time. He did do a 223 before, so from that perspective I think there's a bit more to give out the car there. Welcome to the stream, Vorta Racing. I'm Dave Jones. Welcome. A couple of names there new to the stream, so hope you enjoy yourselves. I'm your host for the evening. Let's jump on board with Dimitri. Dimitri's having quite a good lap. And that car in front of him is Uwe. don't know if you've got track limits there, very close to track limits as he's jumped that curb then. So as it stands at the moment, there's 21 people in the server. I'm not going to be sure if they're all racing. Looking at them, they're all putting times in. But it's going to be quite interesting, and we've had a bit of a spin there, so I'll jump on board with, who should I jump on? Daniel Britos of Argentina, the DD Racing team, and the number 14. I've got something a little bit different tonight. Obviously, rather than just watching cars do lap after lap in qualifying, I try to break it up a little bit. So over the course of the past few weeks, people have been creating their own skins, and not skins that are created within game. They've been doing them outside the game. Obviously, it's quite difficult if you don't have the skin loaded to see that skin. You'll see a default basic skin. So what I thought I'd do as part of this is use a minute of the qualifying session up just to share some of the skins with you. So what I'm aiming to do is to do one skin a week for the different categories, the different race categories. And this week I'm going to share with you Uwe's. So Uwe is one of the first ones to provide with a GT Cup car. He also races the Porsche as well, so his Porsche and his GT3 Cup car are more or less identical. So this runs for about a minute or so, and I will come back on board obviously once it's done so. So this is just a bit of entertainment, so you're not watching the monotony of a car just going round and round without actually racing anybody. So just bear with me, I'll switch to that and I'll be back shortly. Okay, and we're back. As I say, just a little bit of a light entertainment there. It's about a minute worth of your time, just for some of the drivers to show off their skins. As I said, if I don't go with the driver during the race, you're not necessarily going to see the work they've done. So, obviously, Uwe's done that work outside of Assetto Corsa Competizione, and you can see from his colour scheme, he's put a lot of detail into the green streaks on the side and the roof of the car. I think it looks pretty good. I've been receiving a few of these recently, and as I said, over the course of the next few weeks, or the next few races, I'll try and put them together so you can get to see them. Some are absolutely fantastic. Some on the face of them look really straightforward, but they're so good in relation to the way they've put it together. It's just, it just goes to show sometimes simple can be good, as opposed to simple can be boring. So yeah, there's a few really good ones I've seen. One, a theme of Spider-Man, absolutely stunning, and again the effort put into some of these is fantastic. So yeah, I'll encourage anyone who races in the eSeniors to provide with their skin, and I will put it on, and eventually I'll get through them all, and give people the ability to see what sort of artwork people and effort are putting into these cars. You can download some of them as well and apply them yourself. There's always something nice about seeing your own artwork on the screen, and being able to show it off in a real life situation rather than just as a flat image. Bit of an update where we are in relation to timings, just so you can see where we are. As you can see quite clearly there, the number 701 is currently leading, and Van der Bant and Jack Jacobs doing really well. So I'm just looking down the list to a couple of names that aren't appearing. Mr. Bourne, I was half expected him to be in certainly the top 5, and Pollitt was showing good speed before, so I don't know whether they've had difficulty getting the laps in or what, but at this moment in time, that's a nice tasty top 5 with Andreas, Jack Jacobs and Jonathan Wood. So Andreas raced in the GT4s last night. I wasn't able to race in them for obvious reasons, Those of you may not see it obvious. Obviously, I was watching football, but I did manage to watch the majority of the stream. And I think from what I saw with Andreas, that was a really nice drive. He did get taken in the end by, I think it was Chris Bourne took him with about a quarter of the race to go. But what I liked about Pettersson's race was his consistency. You know, at one point I think he started 7th or 8th. I might be doing him injustice there. But just because of other people falling off, he made spaces, you know, and then he passed a couple of cars. And he just carried on his own little merry way, and he finished 4th. So it was quite good that. And Carlos decided he wanted to do a few donuts on the start-finish straight. He did get it going again without hitting the wall. So that's quite nice, that. So I'm just looking at who's on the fly at the moment. Andreas is doing really well at the moment. He's looking at his time. If he can keep this up, he's going to jump a place. And he might actually break into the 224s. So at the moment we've got 3 racers in the 224s. We've got Derek. Well, we did have Derek. We've now got Chris Bourne, who's done a 223.9 and he's now currently got pole. We've got Derek Bird, who's done a 224.2. Jonathan Wood is now in 3rd with a 224.6. Carlo Van Brabant, 224.6, is in 4th. And then Jack Jacobs with a 225.3 is in 5th. Being hunted down at the moment by Andreas Pettersson, who's currently got a 225.3, has lost a bit of time unfortunately, so he's not going to progress any more at this moment. But he only needs to gain a 1/10 of a second, and that will move him up a good position. On this track, ideally you want to try and get yourself going before the big straight, the Kennel Straight, because that's got, you know, such massive potential for passing somebody. If you get a really good run at Ravion, the chances are you'll pass somebody halfway up there and you'll just keep going. You know, the toe, the slipstream, you know, in this game is really good. Certainly in the Porsches as well, I think it seems to be quite good in the Porsche Cup. So Andreas is up again now. He's if he can hold this corners together, he was 2/10 up. Yeah, he's still 2/10 up. This could put him into 5th. Yeah, he's doing well here. Keep this together. He's nearly half a second up now. This is going to put him into 224 territory. If he can get it right without spinning it. Very good. And that's put him 225 flat. Not quite 224, but 225.0. So really good run that from Andreas. That's put him in a very stable 5th position at the moment. There's no one close to catching him behind that with who's on track at this moment in time. I'll jump on board with Dimitri. Dimitri's just about to come over the line. He is quicker. I don't know if he's going to advance on the table. Yeah, he might jump up pace. Yeah, Dimitri's just gone into 7th from 8th place. He's managed to pull out quite a good lap. He was doing well yesterday in the GT4, in the GT4 Cup, GT4 class, sorry. But I don't know whether there's contact or he just overcooked it. I think he overcooked it into the first corner actually, and got massive oversteer. But he was looking in a really good strong position. As you can see, Chris Bourne's just getting faster and faster. 223.7 now he's done. So yeah, he's getting a bit between his teeth a little bit there. It's going to be quite a good race this. Certainly a quick one. Hi Kev, welcome to the stream. Sorry I couldn't assist you trying to get the game running. I have to admit I've never encountered that problem before. Who can we jump on board with now? Well, Carlo's on a flyer here. Let's see how Carlo's doing. Okay, so yeah, he's only just started this lap actually, looking at his time. Obviously a couple of corners in, but he's nearly a second up. Which if he can keep this up, I don't know if he will, could put him in contention for pole position. And his best is 224.6. Matt's currently in 4th place. His time at the moment is going to put him into 2nd if he can do it. He needs to take a bit more time out. Another 3/10. He took one of them out to put him into pole. So let's see how he does here. Yeah, he's still... Hopefully that car didn't get in his way. Might have lost a bit of time there. He's certainly lost a couple of tenths. He's still looking like he's going to gain. Still on for potential second. He's not going to get pole. But he's definitely in line for second here if he can keep this together. The number 268 West Oregon eSeniors car. Half a second up. He's losing a bit of time here. Lost a lot of time. Oh, now he's got the corner on the entry really good there. I think it's going to be safe. Oh no, he's lost a lot of time there. He's moved up one place. He lost a bootload of time in that very last corner trying to get the power down. It's a shame that. He was on such a good lap as well. Let's see how PJ Vitale's doing. He's currently on a quick lap as we hit the... Went up to 3 minutes left of qualifying. He's currently his fastest lap. He's in 12th. It's a 2:26.8. He's online at the moment to jump up 2 places if he can keep it together. But I will say the 10th place person is Kai. And Kai's also going much quicker. So Kai is looking potentially jumping. Let me just work that out. 3 places further forward. But Kai could be in position 7th. PJ's just gone to position 8th. PJ was quick. Kai's really doing really well here. This could push Kai into 7th position here and push Dimitri down to 8th position. He's half a second up and he's halfway through the lap. Looking at the times. Hi Robert, welcome to my stream. Yeah, he's still up, 4 tenths up. Derek's on a flyer at the moment. He's half a second up. That potentially could put him on pole. He's lost a bit of time. He's lost it all. I don't know if he's overrun a corner or something. Kai's still up, but not as much as he was. He's potentially moving up 1 place here as it stands. And keep it together. A couple of Clark cars going off track, as you can see there, with the yellow dots being shown on the map. Flying through there, as you can see. Can he keep it all together? He just kept it in track limits there, possibly. Looked like it. He's took that corner brilliantly. Gained him a bit of time there, actually. This could take him to 8th easily. And it's took Kai into 8th position. Well done, Kai. Nice, good clean lap that. I'm just going to jump forward. Because Carlo has just taken Derek. So, as it stands at the moment, Chris Bourne's still in pole. We've got Carlo, who's now sneaked into 2nd place. He was 3 tenths down. We've got Derek, who's 2 tenths down, and Carlo. All 3 top drivers are going faster, but not much quicker. The quickest being Chris Bourne at the moment. Derek's also going quick. But all it's going to do is just push them all further away. And then we've got Jonathan Wood, who we're currently riding on with. He's just a little bit down on time at this moment. But yeah, it's quite a good split. Quite a few drivers trying their best to get the times in. So we've got 1 driver currently in the 23s. Carlo is looking like he's going to end up in the 23s. I don't think he's going to catch Chris. Chris is going quicker again, as I said. I don't know whether Derek's just had enough because he was doing really well. And his time's just dropped a little bit. So he's gone into the pits, it's showing. I think he went off. Hi Terry, welcome to the stream. Make the most of it, fella, is what I'm going to say. I think from your perspective, you know, it's been a, you know, everyone's suffered, but you've got yourself away. I'd certainly make the most of it if I was in your shoes anyway. Right, let me jump on board with Chris. Chris is going much quicker here. He's possibly going to be into the 2:23.5s. Has he done it? 2:23.5? 2:23.4. At the moment, Carlo is also going to hit the 23s. All he's going to do is push the gap between him and Derek a little bit. He's coming towards the end now. He's 2/10 up on his best time. And through the fast bit of the section of the track. This should put him into the 223s, 223.8, 223.7, something like that. Let's see how he does. He's got the power down this time, much better than before. And no spinny outie. So a 23.691. So there you go, all done and dusted. Go down the grid, just give you the winners and losers if you like. So on pole we've got Chris Bourne, Carlo Van Brabant in second. Then from third we've got Derek Bird, Jonathan Wood, Jack Jacobs, Shane Pollitt, Kai Schaefer, Dimitri Stathis, Michelle Benchea, PJ Vitala, Jeremy Arabas, Bruce Hopkins, Uwe Follen, Daniel Britos, Mark Wyman, Peter Miles, Willie Owens, Manuel Souza, Nikos Margaritis and Stefan Buckley. Okay, so hopefully we'll have a nice clean start. Enjoy the race. And we've lost somebody. What's happened there? We've appeared to have lost Mr. Bird. Is that right? I'm trying to work that. Yeah, I think we've lost Derek Bird. I don't know if he's had a disconnect. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that in case the 701's gone into the pits. Yes, it's Mr. Bird. He's gone into the pits. I wonder whether he's had the wrong setup. Well, that's a bit of a problem, that, because obviously it pushes you right down. Anyway, we are where we are with it. And it's lights out and away we go. So we're riding on board at the moment with Andreas. I'm going to keep my eye on any incidents. Just born there with a good start. Everyone managing to hold it through there. Looking good. Let's see how cars are doing. No current incidents. Looking great along there. They're all the way up the straight and all the way behind. And you can see Derek has actually made it out the pits. So for some reason he's actually gone into the pits there. We don't know the reasons why for that. I'm sure all will be revealed. And there's a bit of, I don't know if that's contact or just a car. There was contact there, so I'm just going to see what's going on in relation to that. So that was car 763. Let's go to car 763. Okay, and let's watch the replay. So that's Mark Wyman. I don't know whether that was the car spinning out first, but there's been quite a few incidents on this corner. There's contact with Uwe there, but there was contact with the car in front. Oh, and that car's just T-boned Willie, I think it was there. And you can see he's just sat there at the grid, but it does look like Mr. Wyman's managed to keep it on track. Okay, let's just jump forward a little bit. You can see there's a nice bit of a gap starting to appear already with the front runners. Car 14 right at the back is Daniel Britos. I think that's the car that went sideways and then possibly made contact with Willie, which is, I can see 14 is Britos and 889 I think is Willie Owens. So yeah, I think I got that right with the relation to the contact there. Thanks, Harrison. I've been working at this, mate, I'm telling you. I'm trying to get my little animations and my graphics going. It's all hard work trying to get the timing right, though. When I watched Nicholas do it, you know, I think his first few, it's hard to get all the timing in your buttons. I've managed to put delays on certain elements to give me a bit of time. Okay, so, yeah, so far so good. Derek has managed to catch up and is already starting his pursuit through the field. Oh, and Sousa there just span. Just in front. Derek goes ever so slight touch. It actually hasn't registered at the moment in game. So I think he's possibly got away with that as it's registering as an incident. Not that it matters. I mean, I think Derek was a passenger in relation to that. Derek's now coming up. Oh, and we've had another car going across the track there. It looks like someone had a massive oversteer. That was car 21, which was Nikos. Just let's just watch that one again, just to see what the state of play was with Nikos, because he did seem to get out of the corner okay. I don't know whether he just I thought it was Nikos then. Yeah, there you go. He's broke. Got onto the curb. And he's just put the power down. Completely lost the back end there. Okay, so from that perspective, I think that was unfortunate, but you know, that's pretty much towards the back of the grid. He's not last because I think there's a couple of cars still behind him. You can see he's running there. So I'm going to run back on board with Derek because I've got a feeling Derek's going to start passing a few cars. This could be really good racing, this. Watching him come through the field. He's already made 4 places up. I think Jeremy's had an incident at some point because he's right at the back. He's had an incident with, I think it was Derek and Jeremy actually have had a coming together. You can see he's going to pass Willie here. No problem there. Excellent racing. There's nothing close on the grid at the moment. I'm keeping my eye on what's going on. Michelle's the closest with Jack at the moment, Jack Jacobs. But you can just see that Derek's going to charge through the field. Now there's a bit of a gap between him and Stefan next. So I'm just going to see if we can jump with anyone else at the moment. So I'm just looking at the timings and the gaps, and there's not really much going on. I'll jump on board with Britos. He's catching Sousa up. So Britos, I think, is the one that had the spin at the end of the Kennel Straight before. You can see there's all fastest lap has gone to Carlo. So he's starting to flex his muscles a little bit. That gap is just over half a second up at the front. Full grid lined up in front of me now, so I can see all the timings for every race. This is the closest on track at the moment. And I would imagine if he can do it, Daniel's going to pass him probably after Radian onto the Kennel Straight. And you could get a good drive out of here, whereas obviously the back ends can get twitchy on these with the lack of traction control. You can see Jeremy's catching the pair of them. Jack Jacobs is catching PJ Vitale. So this is where I think this corner's been catching a few people out. As I said, I think I saw in the GT4 yesterday. There was a bit going on yesterday, oversteering into that corner, where you tended just to put your foot down to get it driving, but the back end just carries on round and follows you through. See if we can get this through right there. He's managed to hold on. I don't know if he's going to get Sousa. Sousa looks like he's going a little bit slower. This could be quite an easy pass. Jeremy's actually gaining on a pair of them here as well. He's not caught Sousa there. Carlo's nearly a second behind Chris Bourne up at the front. Man on a mission at the moment is Dimitri Stathis, who's 1.5 seconds up from his previous lap time. And it looks like he's closing on Kai quite quickly, so again I've got my eye on that one. Just want to see what's going on in relation to the action. This is the closest run at the moment on the grid. So we'll try and stay with the action. I do think there's a potential pass coming up here at the moment. And you can see sitting between them at the back, he's just waiting for something to happen, is Jeremy. A little bit of contact there. Okay. Difficult one to call that. I mean, Britos was alongside and I think had the inside corner. Is Jeremy going to get Daniel here? So yeah, Daniel's got Jeremy's got Daniel, and Jeremy's now on the move. Okay, so I'm just going to go on board with Mr. Jacobs, who's trying to catch up Mr. Vitale. You can see there the black Porsche, and also Michelle's joined the party as well in the red Porsche behind him. So Jack Jacobs for Jack Leg Racing at number 333. Andreas is putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Wood, so I'm just going to jump on board with Andreas. Bit sideways, definitely track limits for the pair of them. Yeah, I will keep my eye on the Jack battle. He's just dropped back a little bit. I should imagine it's just an outbreaking or a bit of a corner. You'll see Andreas though is. I don't know whether Jonathan's just made a bit of a mistake on the previous lap. He's flying again now, Jonathan, but it did look like, from that perspective, Andreas was catching him at some force, to be honest, as well. It did look like he was catching him quite quickly. The gap at the front now is 2.1 seconds. I'll put the splits on for you now, just so you can see what's going on. I don't put the splits on straight away because there's no point in lap 1, lap 2 really, because the racing doesn't really start for a couple of laps in. Track temperature at the moment is 29 degrees and the air temperature is 21. So the idea is the tyres should be gripping really well if you get your tyres set up correctly for this track. I'm just going to jump on board with Shane. Shane Pollitt is catching Kai. So we've got Shane catching Kai. Kai's about 9 seconds behind Andreas. Jack is still catching PJ. Might just switch to that one in a second. I'm just trying to keep track of the different gaps with the different people. As you can see here, Jack is right on the wing of PJ. And you can see Michelle's waiting for some crumbs there as well. He's waiting to see if he can. There's going to be a pass here. All depends on how good a drive you've got out that corner. There's a long piece of track now. Flex your muscles, get your foot down. You can see there, it looks like Jack's managed to make the pass. And you can see now PJ's under pressure from Michelle. So I think the braking into this next corner is going to be really interesting to ensure nobody outbreaks themselves. And you can see now Jack's actually caught right up to the back of Dimitri. And I think the next battle is going to be with them on track as well. Daniel is trying to challenge Jeremy, but the gap's staying static. I don't know if Daniel did get any damage earlier on when he spun his car out. So the classifications as they stand. There's the full, it's more or less the full grid. It will only show 20. We've got 21. The only driver not showing is Manuel Souza, who's currently behind Daniel. So what we'll do is we'll look at, we'll jump forward. Go on board with Jack again, and we'll do a comparison of his lap times with Dimitri, to just see an understanding of how things are performing. You can see the last lap, Jack was a full second quicker than Dimitri. I mean, Dimitri was quicker through one of the sectors, the second sector there, so you can quite clearly see that there's a significant amount of time gained. And you can just still see it on the screen, the fact that the gap between Jack and Dimitri is rather short. There's potentially another pass going on at the moment. Jeremy's caught up to Nikos, and we've got Mark Wyman putting pressure on Mr. Hopkins, so I'm torn to go which one to go to. This is Mr. Wyman. Looks like he might end up getting past Bruce Hopkins here. Keep it together, keep the car on the track, don't over-rotate the rear wheels, and we might get a bit of a pass. And that car coming up behind them, believe it or not, is Mr. Bird. So I said Mr. Bird was going to come through the track. Oof, I don't know if Mark Wyman saw him coming there and turned a little bit. It seemed to put him off a little bit, but you can just see the speed difference of Derek compared to the rest of them. So he's definitely on a mission, is Derek. I think it's only going to be a matter of time. I mean, don't forget they are racing for position here as well. So from this perspective, you know, either Cram, which is Mark's name, backwards. That's where he gets his name from. You can see he's decided not to touch the asphalt, or the felt. Otherwise, it might have upset his balance of his car. The battle's still close with Jack and Dimitri. Again, I'll keep track of that. But you can quite clearly see here that Derek is starting to reel people in quite significantly. Okay, I'm going to go back on board with Jack because we know Derek's going to progress. I like to try and give a lot of the drivers different piece of attention rather than just the front runners, because at the end of the day the field is full. It's not just about one or two cars up front, and it's nice to see what's going on there. So let's just jump on board. That's Dimitri catching Kai and Jack Jacobs behind him. So it's all about who's going to have the best run out of here now. We're on board with Dimitri from the rear wing cam from Sim Racing Montreal, the number 12 Porsche. You can see he's just pulled out a little bit there, Jack. I think the slipstream mustn't have been strong enough. And, you know, Michelle's still sat there waiting. Derek's about to pass Mr. Hopkins. I might jump to that one in a second because it looks like he's going to do it. You can see he's all over him, like a rash, as they'd say. Is he going to defend? Again, they're racing for position, so he's well entitled to race him, if you like. So I think this is a foregone conclusion. Dimitri is very close on Kai. I'm just going to jump on board with Dimitri because it looks like he's going to catch Kai here. Terry, I'm unsure. I would imagine it's into the 166s, 165, 166s. I had me before 88 doing 163, 164. So yeah, I would imagine it's late 160s, early 170s, because it's obviously got Grunt at the top end. These two are still battling out. What it does mean is that Jack's pulled up, has lost a bit of time. If we just look at the rear wing, you can see there's quite a significant gap there. If we look at the rear wing of Kai's car, you can see a significant piece of speed coming up there. I think he's going to get him here. Is he going to get him under braking? You can see Shane's in front of them. Jack Jacobs has just lost a bit of time. You can see behind there. Looks like Michelle's getting close. PJ's getting close to Michelle. There's action all over the place, to be fair. You can see there's the back. We're driving on board with Michelle at the moment, who's now catching, trying to track Jack down. Jack's trying to catch Dimitri. And you can see Kai is now behind Dimitri, looking at that shot there. Dimitri's off into the sunset, I think, looking at it. And the timing screens haven't updated yet. I want to say Dimitri just spun out. I missed that then. Oh, my apologies. Yes, he did. You're right. My apologies. I completely missed that, Robert. I was looking at the timing screens rather than the screen, so I've missed a... Oh, Michelle's just nearly spun out. I've put PJ alongside him, has it? Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I totally missed that. Okay. Well, there's been a car 763. I think that's Mr. Wyman. Looks like there's car 91 and car 763. Was it 911 fallen? I don't know if they've come together. It's not showing as contact, but they've both gone off, and it's like they've both gone off in the same thing. So in effect, Robert, I think I mentioned Dimitri oversteered in turn 1 in the GT4s, but it sounds like he's done exactly the same in the obviously in the in the Porsche. And the Porsche is more twitchy as well. Let's jump on board with PJ, because PJ's definitely sticking to Michelle here. This is the other quickest battle. And behind these guys is, guess who? Mr. Bird. So he's currently, looking at the timings, he's currently 6 seconds behind. So let's see how quick he closes that gap down. There's been another car off. Car 911 again. That's Mr. Tholen again. Yeah, I don't know if he's got tyre problems, but obviously going off a couple of corners will not play nice with your tyres. Nikos has been disqualified. I don't know what's happened there. We're showing Nikos Margaritas has been disqualified. So I don't know what was going on there. I've not seen any warnings coming up. Interesting. He is in the pit and he's left the server. I did see it come up and say DSQ. So unless he's gone over track limits, I don't know how many times and received multiple warnings. I've really no idea what's gone on there. Right, I'm going to jump forward because Jacobs has now caught up with Schaefer. So let's see what's happening here. This is the quickest battle on track. And this will put it to, at the moment, this is the battle for 6th. PJ still catching Michelle, but that gap again has settled a little bit. We don't seem to be moving much further forward. Carlo still 3 seconds behind Chris Bourne. Nice one, Robert. Dress code violation. Because he turned up in flip-flops. Not allowed to race with your flip-flops on. You see here, Kai's got a really good run through there. Through that corner. Just pulled away a little bit. Right, just jump on board with Jeremy, because Jeremy's caught Willie up. Hi Nikos, your ear's burning. Just saying, you got a DSQ. We're trying to work out what for. We said a dress code violation. Yeah, we couldn't work out what had happened. I didn't see any penalties being issued, so it was a bit of a guess. Right, I'm going to jump back forward again because Jacobs has caught up Schaefer again. Yeah, I saw the DSQ. Does it not tell you the reasons why? Is it track limits? Multiple warnings over track limits or something? Or oh, you got a DSQ in the pits. You didn't do a what's name, did you? A Bottas. Spin in the pits and go the wrong way. Because that would do it. This is where the action is. Bird, believe it or not, has took the 10 seconds out of PJ. So I'm going to jump forward with Bird. That's where the action is. So it was going backwards, I was right. You did a Bottas. Kind of. Did you miss your pit and go backwards and then completely miss it? You can see Bird's going to get PJ here. His run through Radion was brilliant. But again, this is for position. He's got him here by the looks of it. Although PJ's Porsche was pulling some grunt then. So we've now got Derek catching Michelle. So let's see how quick he does that. And meanwhile we've still got Jack giving pressure to Kai. But coming around the corner, you can see is Michelle, and then the next car behind that is Mr. Bird. So Bird is looking at the moment. He's already in the top 10. Don't forget he started in the pits. He's already into 9th place, so he's already managed to get himself into the top 10, which is exceptional. The downside is that Mr. Bourne's 37 seconds ahead of this car. So as you can imagine, he's got a hell of a challenge just to catch up. And I should imagine as he goes through the grid, he'll struggle getting beyond. I'm going to put my neck out 5th, unless there's an issue. Well, Kai's gone really wide there, and that looks like it's going to give Jack a good run. He's going to get a good slipstream here. All depends on whether he's going to take the inside or outside. It's wrong place to try and pass under braking. I don't know if he's going to try it. Because they get awfully twitchy on the power out. Kai's angle into that corner was brilliant. You can see the difference in the way he's driven out there. And you can see Derek now is right on the tail of Michelle. But again, I'll stress they are racing for position. Derek has managed to do a 2:24 flat, but Chris Bourne has managed a 2:22. You know, qualifying wasn't even that quick. So that 2:22 is nearly faster than my time in the GT3s. I've got no hope on Sunday, I think it's fair to say. Relatively few incidents. Last incident was quite a while ago and was between the back markers. The guys at the back of the grid. Obviously no one's been passed yet. But I am looking, and Chris Bourne's catching on Sousa, which will be the first back marker to pass. This is the closest battle going on. Although I think Daniel Britos is trying to catch Willie, and I think he might have just done him there. Willie's gone a little bit wide. So Daniel had a bit of a mare early on, and Derek's got past Michelle, as you can see now. So sorry to switch between the two. I was trying to just show a bit of action. Timing was a bit poor on one of them, but they both passed at the same time, so it's quite difficult. But Derek's now hunting down Jack. So can we see Derek from Jack's car? We can indeed. There was quite a gap between them before, so let's see the timing differences between the two laps. These are the lap split times between the two of them. So you can see there Derek was 3 seconds faster than Jack Jacobs on the last lap. So that's quite a significant haul, I think. You know, at the moment Jack's putting pressure on Kai as well. So he is trying to run his own race a little bit there. You know, so I think it's there has been an incident. Car 14. Which is Daniel. So we can see here it looks like Willie is going for the pass on Daniel. So far so good. Oh, a bit of oversteer there. Okay, bit of oversteer I think you can see there. You can see Daniel's car carried on rotating round a little bit. I fear there Willie was a bit of a passenger and there's nothing he could have done about it. Anyway, we are where we are with that, and we'll jump back on board with Derek. See where Derek is. You can see Derek's not yet past Jack. Jack's managing to keep him at bay, but I don't think it's going to be for much longer. The pace is just totally different. He's got a good run up there, hasn't he? Well, let's see how much Derek gains on him from in relation to that. The track's quite split up now. You can see there's not many very close battles. This is by far the closest. There's a few others very similar, but this is the closest. And again, you know, you might not think it's for racing position, but because Derek started in the pits, it is racing for position. It'd be interesting to see Derek's feedback in relation to what happened to him. The only thing I can think of is he got on the grid and had the wrong setup, and obviously he'd already got ready, so he had to escape to the pits. That's the only thing I can think of. I think you've put the wrong brake type on or something like that, and what he's decided to do is not risk it and pit. I mean, the guy's quick enough, don't really need to worry about it, does he? You know, if that was me, I'd be like, great stuff, I'm already at the back of the grid. But not Derek. He's got the pace. As I say, I don't think he's going to he's certainly not going to win, but he's done a fantastic job here. Okay, so he's still keeping him at, you know, still managing there to keep up with him, but he's passed quite cleanly. So I think from that perspective, it's inevitable. So the next gap is a big gap between him and Shane. Shane Pollitt. So I think we'll leave this battle for the moment. We've got 18 minutes of racing left to go. So let's see who we can jump on board with, where there's potentially a bit of action. So Jeremy's doing quite well at the moment. He is down the grid, but as I said, I think he had an incident quite early on, and that put him off a little bit. But you can see he's now catching Uwe. So I think Uwe's gone off a few times. He's come up within the same lap, going off on 2 corners. I think that's probably put him off a little bit. There's a bit of movement further up the grid. PJ and Michelle are still at it. It seems to be like an elastic band. It's getting stretched, then they're easing it. You get stretched, then they're easing it a little bit. That's about a second at the moment. That's the closest battle, which is very similar to this battle at the moment. So Jeremy got a good angle, angle out of that corner. You can see the difference in how quick he caught Uwe up there. Uwe's gone defensive, pulling to the right to stop the inside being taken. I probably didn't, Nikos. Or did I? I don't know where you put it. Can't remember where you put it. That's for another day. I have done some liveries. I can't remember which one, because one of the liveries I had, there was no file with it, and I couldn't work out where it went. Hi Melvin, welcome to the stream. It's been interesting, I think it's fair to say. There's been a couple of incidents here and there. We're getting a few cars now passing Sousa back marker. You'll notice that Melvin, Nikos is on the stream. He was on the track and then got a DSQ for going backwards in the pits. He decided to do a Bottas and he got a disqualification, so he's joined us back in the stream again, but he was on track. Number of incidents, there was a few early on, but I think they were caused more to do with cars spinning out than causing contact. So yeah, quite interesting, that one. There's still nothing going on here. No catching. There's no. Yeah, the other close battle was Michelle and PJ. Michelle got a cracking run out of there, and you can see Kai still sat in the background. Derek's making very slight inroads on Shane, so we'll cover that one in a bit. For your reference, Melvin, we think Derek had the wrong setup, and once he was on the grid he had to escape to pits, so Derek started from the pits and he's currently in 6th position. So there's the current run-ins. You can see there Derek Bird in 6th, and he did actually start at the back, so it's been quite entertaining watching him chomp through the field, to coin a better phrase. You can see Kai's looking on as well, so you can see it from both ends of the Camel Straight there. And the car in the middle. Still, PJ still causing, you know, a few headaches with Michelle. The gap at the front's now 7 seconds, so Chris has really stamped his authority on this. And do a quick grid check. So Chris Bourne currently in first. His last lap was a 2:24. Carlo is in second. His last lap was also a 2:24. Jonathan Wood, his last lap was a 2:26. We've got Andreas, whose last lap was a 2:26. So you can see there's a pattern here. I am keeping an eye on the rest of the grid, don't worry. Shane, his last lap was a 2:26 also. Derek, his last lap was a 2:25. and he's now catching, as you can see from that clip. You can see Shane's in his view. We got Jack. He's got lots of dead flies on the front of his car. His last lap was a 2:27. Michelle, his last lap was a 2:28, and he's being pressured by PJ, who's probably doing a very similar lap time. And then filling out the top 10, we've got Kai, who's just gone wide, who did a 2:27. I think that was his previous lap was his quickest lap. So PJ's still putting pressure on Michelle. I think if he can get the drive right out of Radion, he's going to get him on the Camel Straight. So let's see. No further incidents being logged. They're both track limits. I don't know if they're going to get warnings for that. But they were both significantly track limits. So if you have got your foot down, you will get penalised. He's not going to get in here. Oh, a bit of oversteer there. You can see it. He's fighting with the car. Again, some great racing. He's gone wide. You want to hit the sand. Last thing you want to hit the sand there. It just pulls the car in. This is starting to look like tyres are starting to go off a little bit, which I suppose is understandable. I'm going to switch forward. Watch the driver at the moment. And sit with Derek, because Derek's catching Sousa up here. You could see the blue flags. So he's not racing for position with Sousa. So he should get past Sousa, and then he can track Porritt down. 2 seconds behind Porritt, so I think in the next lap we're going to get Derek catching Porritt. 11 minutes to go. We're currently on board with the 701 Porsche of Derek Bird from DBK, as he's trying to hunt down Shane Porritt. I said he's looking for 5th. He might do 5th yet, to be fair. I thought this was going to be probably too much for him, but great respect for Derek. He's got the gap down to 2 seconds, potentially there. It says 3 on the screen there, but I think it's... oh yeah, he's lost a bit of time there. You can see the other cars behind. There's no... still no immediate battles. PJ is just over a second behind Michelle. I think that battle is run, if I'm being honest. I think the next battle is going to be Shane and Derek, but Shane's a quick driver, you know, so I think if Derek does pass him, it'll have to be on here. But Shane, as you can see there, had a cracking run. He's really put a bit of a gap between him and Derek, considering that Derek had took it down to 2 seconds. It's now back up to 3. I think Derek's car through the corners, though, appears to be much grippier. Got a few dents on there, hasn't he? You can see the dents on the inside. I think he had a coming together with Sousa earlier on. I think there was an incident with 701. Was it? Yeah. 88, whose car 88? Oh, it was Jeremy. He's had a coming together with Jeremy. My apologies, Sousa, it was Jeremy. Quite early on in the race, actually, so I don't know whether elbows had gone out just to, you know, cause a bit of a let me past. But they would have been racing. Okay, so all the other gaps pretty much non-racy at the moment. The closest is PJ and Michelle. All the others are quite significant. You can see by the grid on the map there's quite a bit of space, and these two cars are the closest. I think Derek's now reeling him in quite significantly. It's got it down to a second. So I don't think it's going to be too long before we see a bit of a pass. So he's on the fast section of the track here. So if Derek's running low downforce, he will make a bit of time up here. And this is obviously a low downforce track, because you need the straights, you need the as little wing as possible to give you top speed. Oh. Looks like Shane decided to take a bit of a shortcut there. Interesting. It's, yeah, so Shane... It looked like Shane outbroke himself and ended up cutting across, but it also, like, Derek had got a bit of out of shape as well, because the way Derek took that corner. I don't know who's put off with Shane. Was expecting Shane to come back on. Well, that could have been the reason. You can see Derek's flying here. It's, he's definitely gaining on him now, isn't he? I think it's only going to be a matter of time. And then he's got Andreas to catch in 7 minutes. I personally think that's too big a gap, because it's like he'd have to gain 2 minutes at least per lap. Sorry, 2 seconds per lap. And I don't think... Andreas is just down a consistent run at the moment. 2 good nights of racing. If he gets this, he'll finish 4th. 2 nights on the run. I did that in season 1. Really enjoyed the fact that, okay, you don't get the flag, you're in the top 3, but knowing you're just outside and you finish 4th, it's a good feeling, because you think, yeah, I've done what I needed to do today. I'm quite happy with it. You can see Derek's going to get him at some point here, isn't he? I think he's going to get him on the straight. See if he's going to get it done there. Nice, he's holding him off Shane at the moment. Bit defensive there. 314's been off Kai. So Dimitri's now catching Kai up. Kai's now down in 10th. He's still in the top 10. He's under pressure from Dimitri, I think. Managed to get it in this time, hasn't he? Yeah, Dimitri did pass Kai. Bruce is now on Kai's rear. Just jump quickly to Kai, and then bear in mind where I'm onto with that one. Just Bruce with Kai here, so you can see Bruce has really caught Kai up. I think Derek's going to get him here. Very racy indeed. I think he's got a good run out of here. Could put Derek into 5th place. Yeah, you can see. Is he going to do him under brakes? Last man. Oh, he's managed to do it. Bit of a steep angle in. Not going to get the cut back. Done that very well. Well done, Derek. Nice racing that. Yeah, nice and clean. Nice and clean. And Bruce has dropped back a good second, so all I can think of is he's outbroke himself into a corner. So Derek is 16 seconds behind Andreas. So the length of this little straight is the gap between him and Andreas. I don't think he's going to do that in 4 minutes. But, you know, what an absolute storming race he's had. I'll just jump back on board with PJ. Caught Michelle up again. Michelle's having a cracking race. He's very consistent in the Porsche, I must say. Jeremy's been in the pits. 2 minutes stop in the pits, so I think Jeremy must have had damage from something. This is the closest battle, so obviously I'm just going to stick with this, and then towards the end I'll switch back to the leader, and then we'll do the finishing post, if you like. And Bruce has caught. Switch back to Bruce. Bruce has managed to pass Kai. But Kai's had a bit of a... You can see Kai's off there. He's spun into the barrier. So Bruce has moved up. Again, jump back on with PJ. That wasn't an incident, by the way. That looked like Kai's just gone wide and then spun it on the dirt, because it's not coming up as showing an incident anywhere. And Michelle's going sideways. Oh, that was... wow. Wow, wow, wow. Let's just have a look at that again. Just to, I could see Michelle go off. Commentator's curse, isn't it? And I was hoping he wasn't going to clip him, but what I will say is PJ was extremely lucky he never got spun round more. You can see Michelle's just going too quick there. Oh, ever so slight contact. I think what helped there is we always get told, you know, keep your brakes on. If ever you've seen an example of following that rule, I think it was clear to see there the fact that he put his brakes on. Michelle had put his brakes on there, prevented him from hitting PJ harder than he did. But, well done there, Michelle. Respect for that. Quick look at the timing charts, the timing tower, should I say, and you can quite clearly see there our, you know, there's the top 20. There's 20 runners left. And thanks to ACCTV for the insights in the tower. Good mix of nationalities, isn't there? Really great about this game. You know, a number of different countries involved. It's really, really good. Okay, I'm trying to find activity. Now we've got Dimitri, as you can see, is trying to close Michelle down. Now, I don't think Michelle will have received damage, because I don't think the contact would have been enough. But I wonder whether Michelle's tyres have just burnt the top edge off them a little bit, which obviously means they become slippy. And if that's why, I mean, I don't think he outbroke himself, just caused that. He did brake late, you could see. I'm just wondering whether his car's going to become a little bit slippy now into some of these corners, and it's going to mean Dimitri can get his power down a little bit better and get a better drive. This is the sort of corner Michelle's got the potential of strolling in. So I know he's had a good drive through there now, so maybe it's a temporary thing, but again, this is the closest battle. We've got 1 minute of racing left to go of the current allotted time. See Michelle mount the curve there. That can be dangerous in these cars, because it will take the drive off you and cause you to spin out. So I think he must have decelerated there and not accelerate, you know, not press the gas pedal. The battle of the red cars here, because I think Dimitri's in a red one as well. Yeah, the red and white versus the red. Is he going up the inside? He was thinking about it, wasn't he? Should be interesting on the Camel Straight here. We've had a car number 30. Sousa has gone off track, but is back on again. Is Dimitri going to get him? Radion. Oh, Rouge Radion Camel Straight. I don't know. You can see Michelle's cutting the corner, as is Dimitri. Now looking at that, doesn't look like he's gaining anything there. Right, I'm just going to jump on board with Mr. Bourne. He could be coming over finish line. I think it's this lap he's going to get away with finishing, because the counter's gone down to 0. So I don't think it's going to expect them to do another lap. And you can see in the distance he's just past number 7, the car in 17th place is Britos. So our winner, you can see him flash his lights, was Mr. Bourne, with a very clean race, I think it's fair to say. Got Carlo Van Brabant, and you can see Britos has spun at the back. In fact, that was contact 46 and 14. That was PJ and Britos. So that was a back marker incident, I think. Jonathan Wood going to claim 3rd place. Good race there from Jonathan. And another exceptional good drive from Andreas. You can see he did actually catch Jonathan up a bit towards the end. And then, if there was a Driver of the Day award, I think it would have to be Derek Bird. Absolutely fantastic coming from the back. Well done, Derek. Thoroughly enjoyed watching you through the race. Deserved that 5th place. Shane, who held on to 5th for such a long time but just couldn't keep Derek at bay. Jack Jacobs, another good run for him. PJ, coming over the line now, is in 8th place. Dimitri in 9th place. Another good consistent run from Dimitri. Bruce Hopkins, again, another guy who's had a good race. There's a pattern emerging here, isn't there? And that's Michel. You can see the front end of his car's not looking too impressed there, is it? I'm trying to work out where he is. Oh, I wonder if there's been a bit of a to-do there with Kai. Yes, there has. Let's just do a quick replay on that one. I know it's finished. He's gone off a little bit, and you can see Kai coming round at a rate of knots there. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh, I think it's fair to say your head would be spinning after that one. Wow. It's absolutely unbelievable. I don't think I've seen a spin like that before. But wow, wow, wow. Oh, brilliant. Such a shame that he's had a cracking run today, Michel. You see his car's parked up at the side there. So, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's certainly been an interesting race. And, yeah, I think that was fair to say. It was a good spectacle for the Porsche Cup. So, thanks very much, everyone. We've enjoyed it. And I'm hopefully be streaming the Group 3 race tomorrow. Take care, all. Goodbye.